There's going to be like 3 minutes of this
I know,
intro.
just laughing. Oh my God. Oh,
We
I'm in a
only
giggly
talk. We
mood
only
today.
have the. I fucking can't. There we are. I lost you on the Zoom. Heather. Heather, folks, listeners, mommy, daddy. Oh, it's just so good to be in the fire, isn't it
It
now?
really is, right?
Smack dab in the middle of it, aren't we?
Do you feel, oh my God. Yeah. Every astrology video, anything I listen to or read right now is like, it's all about the new. Do you feel that new, fresh energy? And I really do. Like, I don't know. I can imagine new horizons for myself like I haven't been able to before.
Yeah. No, there it is. There's still like definitely feels like I'm still quite ignited. The fire is still directly under the cheeks. Speaking of my ass. No, yeah, there's just still yeah, and there's almost an anxiety, not an anxiety. Let me ease up.
An
There's
antsiness.
an antsiness.
I feel that.
Yes, I think earlier I was like, I'm feeling angsty, Heather, and what I meant was
Antsy.
thank you. I not like that I have to like do things right now, but an antsiness energy of I want to be outside. I want to see some shit, like shows. I've actually booked myself a couple of live performance tickets for these 2 1-person shows that are coming up, and I know both of them, and they're both at Soho Playhouse.
You have to tell me about that.
I would love to, and I will. But yes, they both like went to the Fringe Festival. Very inspiring, very like I'm seeing some like new theater. I've never seen a 1-person show out in New York before. So the fact that I'm seeing like 2 the next month is very exciting. Yeah, like, and I'm like, I have some concerts coming up too. I think there's like, and then it's gotten warmer. Today is a little gloomy, but like just again, the spring equinox feels like it's really hit, even if it's not like quite super warm shorts weather just yet. It's gradually getting there. So I think there's an antsiness for me. I like want to get outside symbolically and like physically. Like I've also just been like walking in the park more. It's like really important for me to get outside. As I'm talking about it, it's like, well, yeah, no shit. It's not as cold. But no, it's really like an
energetic.
Yes, there's an energy of like new things. And not just for myself, but like I guess that, it is for myself, exposing yourself to art you haven't seen or something new you haven't done in the city or whatever.
I also I feel like a big theme with fire is like inspiration, like things that like and new things tend to inspire new thoughts, new goals.
Yes. And the artist's way. They talk about this for Julia Cameron, the author, talks about this for like your artist dates. So the main takeaway is when you're doing the 12-week program of the Artist Way, every week sort of has its own questions that come with it. So it is a 12-week program that you're supposed to like start and finish all the way through. But afterwards, and even at the beginning, it talks about the main 2 takeaways, like the 2 practices that you take after the 12 weeks. And that's the daily morning pages, which is like, what's that called? Journaling, but it's got a specific name for it because it's really not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to something you're not there to, you're not writing to impress anyone. You're truly word vomiting.
Stream
your
of
thoughts.
consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like stream of consciousness, journaling first thing in the morning, daily. That's like her big thing. And I mean, like therapy talks about this. That's also like a therapy practice. Journaling time and time. It's always been like writing your thoughts out, always clears the mind, takes weight off, yada yada. But she really speaks of the consistency of doing it daily and the health in that, because it's not an overnight thing. It's truly a practice, and there's so much benefits to doing it every day, especially at the start. Is like so important because you're able to sort of like if you're waking up anxious, like for example, you write that shit out. Now you have a little more clarity. Your whole day gets to be different than how it started. Like her whole thing is like, you're still like, you got to do it when you first wake up and brain's still in theta mode. So you can subconsciously dump and you get to be in control and have intent to your day.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, way too long of a thing to say. And then also she talks about the artist dates. And the whole point to the artist dates is how important it is to play and go and do things and see things that you enjoy because of the inspiration it sparks and how like the intent behind it of like, I'm going to go see like both of these shows I'm seeing, for example. I'm actually really excited because I'm seeing both of them alone. And there's like a funness to it of like, I'm going to intentionally go with the like openness of like, I'm ready to be inspired. I'm ready to feel things.
Oh,
I want to take things away. So there's just like an antsiness energy to the air. I'm really like interested to see some shit. And I've been seeing footage of the Taylor Swift Eras tour. So I've also just been like, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's so hard to stay away from it because I haven't even seen the set list. I'm trying so hard to keep myself surprised even a little bit. And it's nearly impossible. Almost all of her costumes have been like, I've seen them. But I'm just like, so there's concerts coming up this season, Heather. And just like, it's interesting to me too that so many big concerts are happening. They're predicting that Miley's concert is going to happen as well, especially because she just came out with Endless Summer, and they're thinking it might be like a end of the summer, fall start of a concert. Beyonce's going on tour. Taylor is having her huge comeback tour. Like a lot of stars who haven't been able to tour. Like there's a world energy there. No.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I've been feeling like in my own smaller world, I feel like there's a resurgence of community. Like they're like, especially lately, like over time since COVID has ended, we've been working up to that, but it feels like in the past, I don't know, few weeks, at least in my personal life, like there's just this big sense of community. And I like I'm hanging out with new people that I didn't normally hang out with before, and like just
putting
getting
yourself
opportunity.
out there.
But it feels like I can't tell if it's just like something in my personal life or if it is like more if it's larger than that, if it's like a global thing that's affecting all of us.
Right. Well, I mean, I think there's also just that it being Aries season and the new beginnings, this like fresh start, a new
Pluto
astrological
just entered
new year.
Aquarius, which is the sign of community.
Oh,
maybe that's a part of it. Maybe
the
I'm
community's
feeling that.
having a bit of a wake up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Aries season.
Aries season just being the start too. Like it does, to me, it does feel like it's a bigger energy. And it's interesting that you say that about like new opportunities, new things that have presented themselves.
Yeah, I've really noticed.
For that. Things want to be created, it seems.
Yes. Oh my God, there's so many things I want to talk about. One thing that just sparked in my mind is that I've been like thinking a lot about Casey Musgraves, and I've been just like hearing a lot of story. Like, I don't know. I feel like whenever I hear someone talk about their love story, I hear a lot about it starting during Aries season. And like my friend just celebrated an anniversary. Her relationship just started during Aries season. And like there's the symbolism of things blossoming. And like I was listening to Casey Musgraves and she has a song that's like, early April, you walked over to me, or something like that. And I'm just like, oh, it really is. And then I like a lot of my past two recent things that I've been involved with started during Aries season. And like,
interesting. little sweet action on the horizon, Heather. No, yeah. Well, and we I want to say doesn't Aries season kind of talk about that? Or didn't we bring this up? Was it in our tarot reading that was brought up? Is that what happened? Where one of your cards for you specifically? Probably. I want to say one of your cards specifically for you was like
love on the horizon.
Yeah, keep your eyes out for a new romance. Yeah. For some flames. For some kissy wissy. No, yeah, it's really interesting. You just said, I'm sorry, remind me again. You just said Jupiter entered Aquarius?
No, Pluto.
So sorry.
The slowest moving planet. Yeah.
The slowest bitch there is.
The slowest bitch there is finally that crawled her way into Aquarius, and she's slithered here for that the next 10 ass. Years. Slithered her icy ass. Yeah.
Does she? Oh my God! I just yanked on my headphones. Did you see that? My leg caught the headphone. I was like,
no.
it's Aries season. Anything can happen. I could snap my neck just sitting here. You never know. Oh, Jesus. So sorry. We'll cut this out, folks. Yeah, probably not. You said that Pluto's the slowest moving, that icy bitch, that cold-hearted, icy Pluto bitch. We love her. Come on the pod, Pluto. She takes 10 years.
10 years.
Or like before she scoots that icy ass. Okay. And that's the slowest of all the planets.
Yes, and that's why it's considered the generational planet, because it stays in a sign for a whole decade, for a whole 10 years. Yeah. So now any babies who are going to be born in the next decade are Pluto and Aquarius babies. They're bringing in the Pluto and Aquarius generation. Yeah, and also you can look back at, it's so fun to like look back at the decades where Pluto has been in a specific sign, because it really does color like that decade. Like when Pluto was in Sagittarius, and that was like 2008, when the internet like blew up. Well, the internet blew up, I guess, before that, but you know, like
2008 when the internet came out. No, I hear just saying though,
but like Sagittarius is all about like going big, like very dramatic, but also taking things too far. And there was like the housing bubble crisis, but there was also like these sexy ass pop stars. It was the time of like Britney Spears and like Paris Hilton, and like you know, it's really fun to look at like Pluto. You know, in the 80s, Pluto was in Scorpio, and it was a darker time, and like themes of death and like sex, and it's just like interesting. So I'm excited to see how Pluto and Aquarius colors the next 10 years for us. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be different.
So when we were born, our generation was born in Pluto and Aquarius, correct?
No, Pluto.
Oh, she's not returning. It's just Saturn that's returned, but Pluto's still doing her. Yeah, why would? Okay. Yeah, so it's Pluto, not like Pluto's in the spot it was when.
No, it's not. Born. We don't even get to experience a Pluto return in our lifetime. Like it takes over 200 years to travel across the whole zodiac. So we only experience it in a few signs throughout our lifetime, which is really cool. So like it's really cool that we get to even live in a time where Pluto's in Aquarius. Like as an Aquarius myself, I think that's cool.
We're going to live in a time where Pluto's in
Pisces. I think like 20 years from now, it's going to be a whole spiritual renaissance.
We're ahead of the curve. No, that's really fascinating. And then Pluto also, so sorry, Heather, I have a lot of questions about it. Pluto is the planet known for, what's it sort of known for? I guess it's
Scorpio's planet. It's the last planet. It's the icy, cold, forgotten planet. But it deals with like big, because it's slow, it deals with big transformation. It's that like we need to like slowly watch things decay and then totally deconstruct in order to rebuild again. And so those Pluto or those Scorpio themes of transformation,
I see.
Every 10 years when it changes signs, there's a transformation that occurs across society and humanity on a global scale.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wild. Wow. It's so funny that happens to be the slowest moving planet. It's also the coldest, iciest bitch. And also it's just like,
but it serves its purpose. We need it.
Because I don't know. This was something that's always said in the weight loss realm. The slower you lose the weight, the longer you keep it off. Basically, the idea is
interesting.
Diet fads aren't always the answer. And
makes sense.
The whole point is like really taking the time to lose weight in a healthy way is usually how you'll be better at maintaining it, because blah, blah, blah. That was always like,
I like this analogy. Yeah.
Right. That's like and I'm just drawing onto that because, you know, my poor mother was from the 80s and in Weight Watchers. And I read too many quotes that were very detrimentally harmful to the brain. But anywho, but like when I hear that though, that's kind of like what I'm applying to Pluto in the sense that it's like, of course it's a planet that deals with these very, like we said, very big changes that just simply don't happen overnight.
Right.
They do take, it's like they're these bigger, dealing with a bigger overall theme. And it just happens to be that in our society, what a coincidence that a lot of those themes can kind of be a little darker or colder, or just the way we deal with them is a little, it's like, you know, if Pluto was a fucking fire planet, move through shit, we'd be not even having to speak. We'd be reading each other's brains telepathic. What the fuck is going on? Anyways, my point is that that's so symbolic of like, just sort of like, I love sort of what you said with that. It's bigger themes, bigger changes. And I think the slower, what a beautiful thing that Pluto is the planet that represents that. The slower
I
it
love
takes,
what you
it's almost
just
like
said.
it's more maintenance of like that change sticking.
Yeah, totally. I love that. And yeah, the other thing, because Pluto rules Scorpio, there's also this energy of like, you know, the secrets that people don't know about. And Pluto, they say, has a tendency to reveal secrets. And when it's on a global scale, and we're going from blah blah blah, when we're going from Capricorn to Aquarius, it's like maybe secrets are going to be revealed about the government. Maybe like I'm really excited for that shit.
Aren't
like
they like
astrologers
arresting
are predicting
Trump this week or something?
Are they?
Finally,
Haven't they been trying to arrest? Yeah,
since like the beginning. Yeah, but I think they really have like I just know that then like the New York City courthouse, I think, is like where it's supposed to like happen, or where he's officially getting tried. I don't know. I'll have to ask Sam. But because Sam has to work at the courthouse all the time, and it's been super busy because it's the Manhattan courthouse, so it's the big one. Anyways, but I do think it's like happening this week. I want to say like an official whatever. We'll see. But
wow, that would
just
be
kind of funny.
Yeah,
I don't know. As you said that, it made me think of that.
Yeah,
I don't know everything I'm supposed to fucking know about it.
Oh, I don't either. It's too much.
Ask me later. Not on, not where I'm gonna record myself not saying something well. Oh my god, I can't. That's not how I articulate. I do not articulate myself by being recorded on the internet forever.
I know.
That is not how I articulate myself. I need someone else in the room who's also drinking just as much. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so sorry. Keep going, Heather, please.
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, I'm
government.
just excited. But I do think, I mean, I've said it before. I think it's all going to be like a more, we're putting humanity first with Aquarius. I think that's going to be the overarching theme.
And then especially going into Pisces. Again, it's just such a like, Pisces could not be more, well, again, the way Pisces just sort of has the reputation for having a little bit of all the signs, and it's a huge reflective time from everything you've experienced from the year, but it's so close to Aquarius, and it's just, to me, no coincidence that that's what Aquarius represents, and it comes right before the sign that's then there to reflect everything you just learned. And what an important sort of lesson to learn in Aquarius. It's like the one big last lesson before Pisces, which is sort of like an overall arching little bit of everything lesson, right?
Yes.
And it's almost like it's an exciting time that it's in Aquarius, and then it's just going to sort of be double underlined, it feels like, by going into Pisces next.
Yeah,
it just really feels like change is coming, and it's here to stay.
And how really cool that we get to live in a lifetime where we get to like be at the end of the zodiac with Pluto. I think is really fun. It
feels very lucky. It feels very, but like, do you, not that you should have that, I want to, my whole point is that it's an exciting thought to go back and look at where Pluto was during different times, but also it's such huge drastic differences, like you said, because it takes so long.
Right but
to fully go through.
It makes me think of experience I had recently where someone who made it clear to me that they don't really love astrology, but they really love history, was talking about how like they love
redundant.
history so much. Redundant. Right? It's the same thing, but they were talking about how they love history so much because it's like we can look at the patterns, and it's like it's cool to God, I can't speak, but it's like cool, and also kind of disheartening that we are in these cycles and the same thing happens over and over again, and you like learn from them, but we're also repeating the same mistakes. And I'm like, well, I love observing astrology for the same reason, but like,
Well, and it's just this idea of like, maybe we wouldn't repeat, maybe things wouldn't be if and more people were in tune with astrology and paying attention to more of it and getting to follow the patterns
and
like
use the tools that we have. Yeah,
it'd be such a maybe different outcomes, different energies,
Mhm.
different things to be aware of and to have intention behind, right? There'd be
Yes.
just a totally different vibe. Also, it's so funny that you bring this up. I think I recently just saw on like TikTok or something too, they have like graphs of kind of finance does this too. This happens in economics.
Right.
And
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like you can always sort of see um where a dip's going to happen or where we're going to take a hit and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Um and it is funny to I would love to cross-reference astrology
Right?
with it. Yeah. With
Yeah,
like a lot of
yeah.
big events, like what a fun like idea to cross-reference a lot of big events, like just in history in general with what
Mhm.
sort of was going on in the sky.
Right? Financial astrologers like are a thing. You know that Ronald Reagan had an astrologer, like a personal astrologer that he consulted?
No, I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
so fascinating.
Catch me in the future working for Paris Hilton when she's president.
Bitch,
Um
yes. Oh my God, that's the job for you. Wow, like he like I'm sure he had stock brokers or
he also
stocks.
was an Aquarius.
How long have stocks been around? Oh my God, I cannot be cited on this episode. Um, Regardless, that's just so funny that a president was
Mhm.
known for having an
Oh yeah.
astrologer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Something that seems so like not what a president would have. That's really funny.
I love it though. I love it.
Interesting. Yeah, I love that too. Oh,
Mhm.
Heather, anything? I know we have to move on to
Yeah.
these charts soon, but anything else you want to flag? We'll talk more in the closing, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want to make sure you made all your points.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I really got on a tangent, but the
Oh
Aries.
yeah, you should be. Oh, Heather, you embarrassed
Oh
me.
my god.
Oh, Heather, look at me throwing these stones like I have a right. I'm sorry, it's a bad bit. And some people might take it seriously,
Oh
and I
no.
might get death threats and hate
Oh my
me. Kidding.
god.
Go on, please.
Well, yeah, but no, it's a very exciting time we're in right now. It's like Aries season's always exciting because it's newness. It's the beginning of a new cycle, but this year it's especially active and we have this
Just
solar eclipse
loaded.
coming
Yeah.
up and I
Oh,
just
that's
fucking
right.
feel it. And the fact that Aries season started right as Pluto shifted into a new sign this year. It's like God, we are ready for the new.
Yeah. There were just so many shifts, like
Mhm.
huge shifts in a way that's like they didn't just happen. Like we're going to be
Mhm.
feeling the effects of those shifts like we always do, but it's specifically these with how much like just big shifts. It feels like all of these major shifts that happen at the beginning of this Aries season, at the beginning of this new astrological year, is only a sign of like the fact that we're going to be feeling the effects of those shifts the entire year is how I take that,
Right, right.
you know?
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a fun time.
It is.
Ooh.
It is. I'm really
Ooh.
excited. I
Uh,
feel the fire between my cheeks also.
yeah. Between. Oh, the fire between her cheeks, folks. That's Heather Cunningham. I'm Miranda Linsky. Let's get into these charts, Heather.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Heather. The charts we have today.
Some big, big stars.
Some huge personalities.
Yeah. Well,
Literally. Like kind of actually not being sarcastic. I'm so excited. I've been a fan of this first birth chart since high school when I was vice president of drama club and trying to find myself, and I like did this huge breakaway from cheerleading, all I'd ever known. I
oh.
said, I don't want to be one of the cool kids anymore. I want to be a drama club kid.
Mm-hmm.
um and ended up having way more sex. Just kidding. Not till way later. But my point is, she's Mother Monster. She's everything. She made me proud to be a drama kid. She made me proud to be born this way. Lady Gaga, just incredible. And I'll never forget, my whole fucking anecdote to this was, I'll never forget in ninth grade, she was, I think it was because, and I say that because I want to say this was the VMAs, the 2009 VMAs, where she wore the meat dress and she won the album of the year. She won a huge award. And she was like, I said I would announce the name of my new record if I won this award. And like she announced Born This Way and was all emotional. And then she won again, like another huge one. And then that time she went up and was just like, held it up and was like, yeah, like did this huge like roar.
Aries.
Yeah. And the whole place lit up and I'm watching through the TV and I'm all lit up and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, and I'll never forget. And I still think about this every day and tell it to myself in the mirror all the time. And she's like, tonight, little monsters, we're the cool kids at the party. And like that's all she like says, and like that's her award speech. And I was like, oh, it was just such a fun. I really, really looked up to Lady Gaga in high school. She was like there for my formative years. I loved the meat dress. I loved it all. The weirder, the better she was to me. I felt I was just like, this bitch knows exactly what she's doing. I just felt like she was in on a joke, and it was so cool watching not everyone else sort of be on that. The fans got it. I think the fans always got that she was like actually self-aware and doing this from a place of like artistry, like the costumes and like just all the big explosive fiery shit that she is. And so it was it was so fun to be a part of like the Gaga fan cult. Now she's, you know, she's done A Star Is Born. She's become like
she's like
so much just bigger than like that little weirdo. And like, but it used to feel like she really was not liked by a lot of people when I was in high school. And it made me love her even more.
No, I really respect her for really just like going full throttle with that and not giving a fuck what people think. Like she didn't let that I don't know, she made her persona what it is, despite the fact that she knew people wouldn't like it, probably, or that
exactly,
or people wouldn't get it.
And she talks about this in 5'2". It's a Netflix documentary they did on her, and I think it is still on Netflix. Listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but she talks about this in 5'2", where she was like, they always wanted me to be like sexy and like attractive and use that to like sell the music. She was like, so in order to still have control, I always had to put some like absurd spin on it. And that's why I always made it like weird. And like, cause it was also a big thing of like control for her.
That makes sense.
And also I think it's a kind of, we watch a lot of pop divas, stars, incredible, very famous people, I think, do this. They have to create a persona or create sort of this sort of character for them. Ariana Grande talks about this as well, where she's like, when I see like my fans, or just like there's a drag themed Ariana Grande themed like drag party or whatever, or event, she's like, I love that so many, like they're all wearing the high ponytail and like the little dresses and the knee-high boots, like, because that's like a character I'm playing. Like she kind of opens up about that because it's because if she's just up there as like, all right, and it's like she has like fake hair, it's very long, straight, very extra feminine. Her natural hair is like super curly, for example, and like her mom talks about this, or like friends talk about this, that she's actually a lot more of like a laid back, sort of more tomboy, but like the high ponytail, the heels, the yada yada, it's all part of the persona. I think Gaga was absolutely doing that too. Like you almost have to when you're in that level of fame and really exposing yourself that vulnerably. Taylor Swift, for example, I don't think necessarily maybe has that persona, but she does in the way that like her themes, like every album being like and her that special like, oh, what's the theme of this album gonna be, what's the story, you know, the way she really makes, like she commits to each theme, and like you can look back and know exactly what album came out when, just based on her hair and outfits alone that she's wearing at the time. Like she wears her album throughout. It is a part of her overall aesthetic. Whatever album is out is like what she's always sort of representing and putting forward before herself, even in her own way. So Gaga really just took it to a level that like, High School Miranda ate that shit up.
Yeah.
And then to watch her do A Star Is Born and get a lot of respect on a level that I don't think she necessarily received before was really cool. I was a big
Right.
fan of hers
No,
too. But
she's very
anyways,
talented. Yeah.
yes.
Isn't her whole story like she went to NYU and
She
she
went to Tish, yeah.
she was studying like opera or something? Like I think
I
she
think she
has
was I
I
think she
feel
was
like
doing
she
theater.
has
She was
oh,
studying theater
maybe that's what it was.
and she quit.
Right. And I
And her
seem
dad
to
gave her 2
remember
years.
yes, that's the
Yeah.
story. That her
Yeah.
dad was like, you have 2 years to figure this out. We're not like funding your
We're not
life
bankrolling
anymore.
you
Yeah.
being a dropout. Like if
Right.
you dropped out, you're gonna do something with it. And she was like, okay. So she had like 2 years to like get a record deal.
I feel like that's such a when you like break down the Aries archetype to like its deepest mythological archetypal roots. It's like yeah, this you come up against opposition and you have to like show your power. You have to like
Mm-hmm. She's
yeah.
so powerful. And
Yeah.
it's very important to her to like I think a lot of Lady Gaga understands a lot of power comes from vulnerability. And I think she talks about this a lot that she chooses to share what she shares with her fans because she's like, I think it's more important for y'all to maybe just know what's going on in my life so that it's not so secretive and that there isn't so much pressure to get a picture all the time. Like giving in that way a little bit. She's like, she's very honest with her fans. It's like very
Right.
important for her to be open and honest and share her specific like shortcomings, challenges, her own stories like that. I think it's very important to her with her fans. Like it's very
Yeah.
important that her fans feel like they do know a person regardless of what the outside fucking world sees, or like that's not a priority to her. And god, she's so good to her fans. She really is.
Yeah.
That's why she's still here,
It's right.
besides her incredible talents. And but yeah, she's such a force. She's very power forward. It's like very
Yeah,
important to her.
right. And you like see the fire. Like, oh my God. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't know her sign, I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely just
Yes.
fire
Yes.
just emanates.
Yes.
But it's interesting that you say that with the Scorpio moon. Like Scorpio moons aren't ones to lay all the cards on the table, but maybe what you were describing is a way to like have control over what is being put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's really cool though that she's like
Again, I think it also could just come from the fact that I think she's really vulnerable when she performs. I think it's a concert thing. I almost feel like I know more about her from watching the Monster Ball on HBO than I ever have from any interview, if I'm being honest. And
okay.
that like her own concert is her fans. So I guess if I want to clarify that, I do think it's something that like her music is to her fans. I don't think Gaga needs the world's approval. I think she
Right.
knows with her fan support alone and what she's out there fighting for, what she's out there to prove, what her voice is, what her message is to the world. I think she just has that confidence, that Aries fucking confidence.
Mhm.
It's like a Scorpio moon that cares about the deeper shit and
Yeah.
then expresses it through a fucking pop queen, a pop
Yeah, that
star.
makes sense.
But she's a deep bitch and her music might not sound like that to everyone, but I think it's like she's very aware that not everyone needs to get it and that it works
Yeah.
for her even more. Um,
Yeah.
it sounds like it always has. I think she was always sort of an underdog growing up, and she also talks about in the Monster Ball tour. She talks about how when she was at Tish, they would constantly tell her like your voice is to pop for theater, but your voice is to theater for pop. Like you're in this like in between. And they told her she was too quote unquote ethnic looking to like ever be the lead character. They told her she was never going to play the lead. She was never going to be the ingenue. She was never going to
Right.
be the blondes. She was never going to be the star. And she like says this as she's like tapping her long ass fingernails on the piano at Madison Square Garden. And she has this bright yellow, like camp wig on.
Right.
And she's sitting there at her own show. Like they told me I was never going to be the star. I was never going to be the blondes. And then she just pauses and everyone's like screaming because it's like she's literally wearing a blonde wig at a sold out Madison Square Garden show that's
Right.
hers.
It's badass.
Yeah, and it's like it was like important for her to share that, and it in a way that it's like that wasn't, obviously there's a little bit of like a flex to that, and like, but also it was more of a, the way I always interpreted that was, don't ever fucking let anyone tell you what your dreams are. If you want it, you can. I think was her overall big message. And also just like, if I had listened to them and let them do that, I wouldn't be right here, obviously. And she even says that. She's like, she was like, I could see you all the way up there. I used to come to Madison Square Garden for shows, and I'd be so pissed in the nosebleeds watching some bitch who had like lip sync her way to Madison Square fucking Garden. She's like, and like made a real big point at her show too, to be like, if you ever think I'd be lip syncing my way to an HBO special, you got another thing coming. And then she's like, show me like she goes like a cappella. She's so like, it's so important to her that her fans get that side of her, I think, specifically. If that makes sense. I want to clarify.
Yeah.
The Scorpio moon things make sense. And also she's older. I thought it was shocking she had a documentary out, but a lot of things have changed about Gaga. She's not wearing the meat dress necessarily anymore. She doesn't, not that she ever like had to before. She's so talented, but it's what set her so apart. It's what made her, to me, not another. It was why I liked her so much. I fell in love with her so fast. Watching like a live performance. Anyways, but now like she will just be in like a t-shirt, jeans. She's sober. So there is a different whole like vibe to her. I don't know if she would have put out that vulnerable of like a documentary when she was first starting out, because there was having such mystery to her, I think, is also what drove. She really studied the art of fame. She talks about this too. It's like something she studied and learned what when people lose their fame and what they do. And that's why she also speaks on being so honest with her fans, because she's like, it's lying to your fans that'll lose your fame in like a second. Or like she literally studied fame and how to like obtain it and then also maintain it. Really fascinating.
Interesting.
She like took psychology. I want to say like it was like a real study. Like I'm not just saying she Googled it. Like I really do believe she like studied it as like a psychology subject or I don't know. I'd have to look it up again.
That's interesting.
Like, yeah. It was about, so it's like the fame thing is still important for her, but also like to me it's like, out of all the fucking famous pop stars in the world, Gaga says the shit that you want them to say. Her heart's in the right place about issues. She's not quiet about where she stands on issues. You know, like she's very vocal in that way. Gemini rising.
I was just gonna say, combined with that Aries honesty and that like I'm just gonna be real and raw because it's the only way I know how to be. Yeah, and
I'm gonna bring up deep shit at a pop concert.
Yeah.
I'm Lady fucking Gaga. Like, yeah. No, yeah. Sorry, Heather. Keep going.
Oh no.
I feel like I've been talking. I just love this bitch. So I
could
talk about her
go off
for hours. But
yes.
Any other like little things you want to point out that you specifically see in the chart? Oh yeah, I was just about to pull it up again and see. See what our balance looks like.
It's
a little lopsided.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Sun in Aries in the 11th. And Venus there in Aries in the 11th, that's like all really strong placements. She is meant to shine in the public. She is meant to understand her own like power and worth through shining in a community, shining in the public. And yeah, the 5th house moon is very creative, conjunct Pluto, and both of those planets form a trine to Jupiter right by the midheaven. It's in a way, this chart is like, we were just talking about the story with her dad and how she had to like come up against an obstacle and like fight like an Aries, but this chart is also very easy in a lot of ways. It's like there's like a lucky flow. Chart. Yeah, there's like a flow. The 5th house moon conjunct Pluto, trine to Jupiter right next to the midheaven is like, oh, once you tap into that and you like pursue your dreams, it's gonna happen pretty effortlessly with this chart. But there is this Mars in the 7th. It's the only opposition in the chart, like one of the only really difficult aspects. Mars in the 7th in opposition to her Gemini rising is interesting. And I don't hear a lot about like romance and shit, but like that placement suggests that, and Neptune's there too, that like hardship with like one-on-one relationships, or like even like just you're
No. Keep going.
okay. Well,
I'm
with
telling.
Mars,
I want to keep
yeah,
going, but I'm just like, oh, I have something to say.
I'll finish up soon.
I'm
But
just
with
excited.
Mars, yeah, with Mars in the 7th and Uranus is in the 6th, but it's right up in there. It's you the 7th house, all my planets are in the 7th house. You tend to like project those qualities onto other people and not own it within yourself. And so like if you have Mars in the 7th, you tend to attract more aggressive personalities because you are meant to learn how to be more aggressive and assertive on your own, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Interesting.
What do you know?
Oh, what I was just gonna say is she's had, I know, multiple failed engagements, not even just relationships. I want to say she has been engaged a couple times. I still don't think she's married. I could be wrong on that, but I know that because she talks about this in the 5'2", it's like the morning of like her Super Bowl performance, and her ex fiance like had flowers delivered to her, and she's like, oh, that's just what I need, flowers from my ex right before this like show or whatever. And she was like, whenever my career, she's like, this is always how it goes. I always know my career is on an incline if my romantic relationship is failing. And she's like, because every time my career is in a good, positive incline place, or just like good things are happening, milestones are happening for me in my career, I always lose a relationship.
Interesting. Well, yeah, her sun in the
Quoted for saying
11th.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So as you're
interesting.
saying that, I was freaking out. That's why I was just freaking out.
Yeah. Well, the sun in the 11th also does square. It looks like it squares the Neptune in the 7th and the Mars in the 7th. So there is like a tension. It's like how can you combine both uh themes, both like, yeah, career and relationship.
And obviously, like, I don't know her personally, so what
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
speaking on is absolutely myth and just suspicion. But similarly to watching Paris Hilton's like documentary, it does feel a lot like, I'm sure this is kind of hard for a lot of really famous women in these very powerful positions sometimes,
Strong
especially
women.
dating strong women, especially dating another man in the same sort of like industry, even worse sometimes if they're not, because there's sometimes even less of an understanding.
And I'm sure
like,
they're intimidated as hell.
They're intimidated as fuck, and then they get insecure because like especially if they're in an, I guess it's either way, but like when you're in entertainment, it's like there's, I think, an insecurity of like, this person's bigger than me. Sometimes, not all men, but just like,
yeah,
I feel like a lot of maybe Gaga's relationships have sort of been like that, like and that's kind of what I've gathered, if that makes sense. Like, I think it is in the same way Paris has sort of had issues. And then what you were saying about attracting sort of more aggressive personalities, that made me think it even more, honestly. I bet it's always like these men who try to control her, or like try to, or are trying to compete with her, and she's just trying to have someone to like love her. But also I think like her career is very fulfilling to her, and she loves her fans. But she talks about this in 5'2" as well, that she's like, I go from all day. Yes. And this really spoke to me as a Pisces, and I don't have to deal with half the shit she does. But like, she was just like, I deal with people all day, just people talking to me, people touching me, people like chauffeuring me. And she's like, and then I get home and I'm just alone, and it's just like quiet and it's empty, and I'm so sad. And like, that has to be such a weird feeling, because even like the people you're talking to all day, who are touching you all day, like with you all day, it's for work reasons too. Yeah, it's not like y'all are getting lunch or on vacation.
It could feel like love, but it's not that kind of intimacy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that really broke my heart, because it's like, so many stars talk about that, and
Charlize Theron apparently like can't have a boyfriend because she's too gorgeous and successful. Like, she can't have anyone who's just like who's strong enough to deal with that.
It's unreal.
It's sad.
And I love, honestly, that was one of my favorite things from that Paris Hilton documentary, was like the way she just called that behavior out immediately. Like, she's very aware of it. She's like, because I date these fucking insecure men who are either in love with me and have nothing else going on, so they drop everything and follow me around, and I lose all respect for them and they become unattractive to me, or they hurt me physically because I'm more popular than them. Like literally. It's anyways, so not to say that I genuinely don't know. I don't know if Gaga specifically talked about her past relationships in that way, but that's kind of what I gather.
Totally. That makes sense.
That's just me.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
And
anyways. I think this theme will roll over into the next celebrity we're going to talk about too.
Yes,
not to jump the gun, but
no, I know, but I was like, again, I could just do this all day.
I know, it's sad.
But yeah, want an easy peasy chart. 2 years, please.
I know. Come on. I wish I had some of that Aries confidence, though. I wish I had an easy chart. Well, no.
There's just this way that she knows herself. I just feel like Gaga is someone who's kind of known who she is very young. And I get what you're saying. It's not that it's like an easy chart in the way that's like.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that.
No, but I get what you're saying. It kind of flows. It's a harmonious. Harmonious.
Yeah, the energies flow together.
Whereas like a lot of her, yes, the way her placements just specifically are this, like, it's not that she did anything on purpose. It really is just like the way these placements are. It's like the signs sort of feed into each other or balance each other in a way that's beneficial to her as a human being and being a go-getter, or just in a way. And I hear you too. Like we've talked about this before, where like sign having certain elements all over, or like, oh, this is what I meant to say. Like when someone, for instance, is the same sun, moon, and rising, it's almost like things are a little easier for them because they're just kind of on the same page with themselves.
Yeah, there's not this battle of energies.
Right. And like, I think even sometimes, even if you don't have all the same exact signs, there's still ways in which that can still sort of manifest in your chart and in your life, just because of like, oh, these signs might not be exactly the same, but they weirdly mix well together, you know?
Right,
like it's just
totally.
And that's
they support
like,
each other.
That's like the fun of it. But yeah, and like it's specifically like her go-getter attitude, knowing exactly kind of who she is, what she wants to say, what message she's trying to bring. Like it just feels like she's embodied that since day one.
Yeah,
really
Aries is so fucking good at that. Not overthinking, just here I am.
Knowing what's right and what's simply right and wrong morally. Please. Like, what are we even talking about? Sort of attitude about like, yeah. Oh, and with that too, before we move into the next chart, I do want to wish Jordy Kapansky happy birthday.
My queen.
Thursday, but we're recording on Jordy's actual birthday.
Oh.
And we're pre-gaming for her birthday.
Yes.
I'm like, which Heather has every right to, because she's physically in town to do so. Me, on the other hand, what is going on? No, yeah. Happy birthday, Jordy. We love you.
Birthday. Every time it's one of my best friend's birthdays, I'm like, ooh, it's kind of my birthday too. Or like not it's just like, ooh, I get to like
celebrating your life.
Yeah. Like
maybe for the different reasons you are, but yeah. It's a good day for me that you're alive. And
yes,
I get to celebrate it. Yeah. Love you, Jordy. Come on the pod.
Jordy.
Okay, Heather. Anything else we want to say about Mother Monster?
No, I think we covered it.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga, come on the pod.
Come on the pod.
Such an advocate, such a hottie, such a talented bitch. Okay. Let's proceed, Heather. This next one, also very vocal about what's right.
In a way, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, but she kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's, obviously she's not selling out arenas and saying it in that way, but like, she is a vegan and proud of it. Go on, Heather.
Yeah. Kourtney Kardashian, who was, I want to say, my favorite Kardashian early on growing up. I don't really know why. I kind of liked her just like dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
I enjoy her energy. Like it amuses me.
She's mean with a smile.
Yeah. But
no, yeah, her humor is funny.
Yeah, so we all know Kourtney Kardashian, obviously. She's an Aries sun, Capricorn moon, Pisces rising. And I think her chart is very telling. I think that I think the Capricorn moon is very revealing. I think that she is a little bit more serious and also down to earth than the others. She's like the only one who went to college, I'm pretty sure. And
briefly, or maybe for all 4 years. You could be right.
Yeah, I'm not I want to say she has a degree actually. But
it makes sense to me that she would want to go to college and have that experience, even though she didn't have to.
Right.
Like they had enough money even without the reality television show that
totally. She could have done whatever.
Right. So the fact that I think that's very Pisces rising of her, and probably very Capricorn moon as well. Just like the reality, like there's a drive there. Go on.
Yeah. But before we started recording, I think we were talking about how she isn't as all embracing of the fame as everyone else. It kind of feels like she doesn't totally want to be on the show. Like she does it reluctantly. She wants the perks of the fame without, all of it.
She straight up said that, yeah. Like she's
right.
like, I just
she
don't
has
know
said
if I want to be famous. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's even said she doesn't know if she wants to be on the show. Like it's a constant battle.
And
but
that's when Kim and Kourtney, or that's when Kim and Chloe were like, she doesn't want to be a Kardashian, but she wants all the benefits of being a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, but so Neptune is right next to the midheaven. It also trines her sun, squares her Venus. So it's a very active Neptune right next to the midheaven. And Neptune is sort of like the planet where you don't have control, where you often feel like a victim, where you have to make sacrifices. So really interesting that she has
being the victim, or used to be. Lots happened since she met Travis.
Right. I know. That I think is also very indicative of her Pisces rising, that relationship. But and her Pluto in the 7th. Oh my God, I'm jumping all over the place. But yeah, the Neptune right next to the midheaven in the 10th house says a lot to me about like how she feel like her public persona is kind of like mixed with this sacrificial symbolism. Like she it feels like she has to sacrifice.
It's a chore for her.
Yeah,
she's there because it's like she's stuck and on this like ride that they can't have a choice. Off. But if anything, she's a little more happier with it because she gets to ride it with Travis. And I think like, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. She has straight up said in the past, like, I just don't know if I want to be famous. I don't think I'm built for it. I don't think it's me. And Chloe, though, in the most recent seasons has also been saying that. All of them just have like unbelievable anxiety, except like Kylie and Kim, which have pops like of it when they're in trouble. But like they're more both, I guess, like built. Kim, they all joke that Kim is the one who's built for it, and she just is, and even she says that. And they all agree.
Was the one who was like pursuing it. I mean, she was following Paris Hilton around, wanting to be a reality star. Yeah,
right. But yeah, Kourtney, I think, was more. She's fallen into it in a way that it is just her reality, but it definitely you could tell she loves being a producer on the show. I think she has way more fun with it. That's also why, and we've talked about this too, Heather, it's so fucking boring now. The Kardashians sanitize the hell out of it. So like,
what's the point?
Yeah. And it's just like, again, they want so much respect because they're more than just reality TV stars. And it's like, oh, come on,
no
just be reality TV stars. It's a reality TV show. Let there be drama. But
it's so much more interesting to watch humans be humans. That's why I love reality TV so much, is because we get to watch people be messy and flawed and dramatic and over the top. And that's why we watch it. And like, that's why everyone liked the early seasons of the Kardashians. It's all that Scorpio energy in them trying to control the fucking narrative.
Yes. And they love talking about the narrative. They're always like, the narrative has just gotten completely out of control. Like, that's all what they say. Like, this narrative is just like, there's no one doing it now. They love saying this narrative. And it's like, the narrative you all voluntarily wrote by like becoming on it. I don't know. It's just also like,
you're just humans.
Come on, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. There's so much Scorpio in that family, including with not with Kourtney.
No, well, no, not there aren't any. Oh no, she has Uranus and Scorpio, but that's a outer planet. That's not a personal planet. It doesn't count as much. But she does have Pluto in the 7th. Yeah, no, not really predominant Scorpio energy though. But she's attracted to Travis, who's a Scorpio.
Oh, that's right. He is a Scorpio.
And I feel like she is like coming across so Scorpio ever since she like started dating him, like how she's all embracing the like gothic look and like, not that she's gothic, but you know, like she's just like dressing differently. She's tonguing him at the family dinners, you know.
Right. No, yeah, they're so PDA and like all over it. And now she's even like she talks about this on the most recent show too. Kourtney was always really, really petite, really, really thin for the most part. I mean, Kendall's got like that model height and then like model thinness, like just with the height and like a deer with those legs. Kourtney is a lot shorter, like not model height, but always still really, really thin. And she's talked recently how her gaining weight and being curvier like in all the right areas like you want to be, she was saying that she feels so much more like a woman and so much more powerful and so much hotter, and that Travis like really makes her feel that good. And she's like, anytime I'm super skinny, it's from like unhealthiness from being in a bad relationship and anxiety from like a toxic relationship. And like, so it is really nice to see her. It does just feel like a healthier, better overall version of Kourtney on these later seasons.
Yeah.
But my God, it's so boring. And I think I told you this too. Like the Hulu trailer was out for it on Instagram, and all these people in the comments were so mad. Like, boring as hell. Better not be as boring as the last one. Like,
oh my God.
thank God Scott's in this trailer. Y'all brought him back for the views, I see.
I love that the fans are aware though. Yeah, what the fuck are they doing?
The first thing I thought was just, I was like, God, this is boring.
This is so boring. Just be on your Instagram. I can't deal. But that's interesting what you said about Kourtney, the Pluto in the 7th, in opposition to her Mars and Aries in the 1st, and also opposite her sun. That's tough. That's like you want to experience intensity in relationships, and sometimes that becomes like challenging and toxic.
No. Yeah, I hear that. And Travis is like, they have like a very special weird ass bond.
But even then, it's interesting. The Pluto in the 7th, she's attracted to like this Scorpio, intensity. Darkness. But that feels like more, I feel like because it's more openly dark and intense, it's probably healthier than what she had with Scott.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Very interesting.
Anything else, Heather? Any last little tidbits about her chart
before
we move on to the little closing here?
Let's talk about this energy, because boy, is there energy.
Boy, is there energy. Heather. Another season halfway through. Can we believe it? Right? We have 2 more Aries episodes after this one.
Wow.
Or like we're at the halfway mark, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right in the peak.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the Libra full moon is right around the corner. Yeah. Damn. But I'm excited that this Aries season has an extra dose of kapow at the end of it with the solar eclipse and this second Aries new moon.
Wild.
Yeah. What you were saying before about feeling like antsy, like I feel very antsy with the astrological knowledge that I have. Like I feel like I have to take advantage of this time. Like I have to like start things. I have to like do something with the energy. Like what good is it to know about astrology if you're not like applying the knowledge?
Damn, say that, Heather.
Right? So I feel like, there's all these ideas and things I want to get started, and I have to do it in the next few weeks, or I have to like at least like take steps, you know? I'm trying not to be hard on myself, but yeah.
No, exactly. You just articulated, it took me so much longer to get there, and I still don't even think I said it that simply, but exactly. There's an antsiness to like get started.
Yeah.
To not waste this time. It feels really wrong to let this time go to waste.
Yeah.
Because it's so energetically charged.
Yeah.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah. So
any big exciting more movements on the way besides everything that's already occurred?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, you know, we were talking about Pluto was in Capricorn for 10 years. It's just now finally entering Aquarius this month. We also, you know, it's the astrological new year, but on top of this, Mars is entering Cancer. And Mars was in Gemini for like 7 months. It was retrograde for so long, like
That's right.
so long. So now it's finally entering Cancer on March 30th. And at the same time, it's going to form a trine to Saturn, which is really nice. Saturn's in Pisces. So it's this water trine with the planet of, you know, asserting yourself, getting things started. It's Aries planet in connection with Saturn, which is all about bringing things into tangible form, grounding it in. So they're saying that at the end of the month, it should be a little bit easier to do hard things. Like there's more flow to the things we want to get started. We have this nice trine to Saturn, so it's like easier to ground in and actually do it.
Right.
Especially if you're emotionally in tune with yourself, because we're also dealing with Cancer and Pisces. So yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Get your energy in equilibrium,
aligned. Yeah.
Just
that's
go
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. What a powerful little extra punch that, like you're saying, that new moon's gonna provide for us.
I'm telling you, the end of Aries season is gonna be, I think, major. I know, I'm excited. And then March 31st, Venus forms a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. And this is really exciting too, because like this stuff only happens once a year, where the personal planets meet up with one of the outer planets. And Uranus is, you know, change, sudden shifts that bring more freedom, align you with your true sense of purpose more. It's Aquarius's planet, always trying to like level up and progress. And Venus is about values, what we're attracted to. So at the end of the month, there might also be this like, you're attracted to new things, you're attracted to a new value system, a new person. I don't know, there's newness in our Venusian, and with it being in Taurus, which is the sign of our values,
right.
It's a good time to think about, I don't know, exploring new ways of getting the things you want, or
I love it.
realigning what you want.
Yeah. No, it definitely feels like it's not just a time to be doing. It's specifically a time to be doing the shit that lights you up. Like if you've ever needed more permission from the universe before, ever, to like really set aside and dedicate time to those passion projects, the shit that's really gonna move you. Not just being like a productive human. It's bigger, right? It's like so much bigger than that. Is how I'm interpreting.
Totally.
Interpreting it. Why can't I do that? I did it.
Yeah, you were fine.
Interpreting.
Totally. No, what
it's just
like
so much
really
bigger.
lights you up. With Venus hitting Uranus, it's about like what feels fresh for me now based on everything that I've been through, like what's lighting me up today. What's the new thing.
That's incredible, Heather. And as you were just saying that too, it's like you just kind of helped me again.
Oh, yay.
Another podcast episode, another therapy session, free therapy session for Miranda. But like you just helped me sort of I think that's exactly what that antsiness is. I've been productive in a lot of ways, but I really want to make sure I'm setting aside and putting productive energy towards the shit that's actually like what I really want out of this life.
Right.
What I want to be spending my time doing. Like I've been incredible with the spring cleaning in the apartment recently, and I like reorganized all my closets and really did like a thorough, deep cleaning. And like there's so many, like it's so funny how I'm like, I've been productive in all these XYZ ways, but like that antsiness is absolutely coming from a place of the meaningful shit, the creativity.
But that's good. You're taking the time to think about that. That's what this time is for.
Apply it, listeners.
Yes.
Apply it.
Yes. And then last thing, on April 6th, I think that's when we release the next episode. So we'll talk about this next episode too, but the Libra full moon. Which is opposite the sun, and the sun is going to be conjunct Chiron while this is happening. So, and a Chiron is like the wound, the inherent wound that we all are born with, we can't escape. So this it's an interesting Libra full moon because it's like an opportunity to address maybe our hurts and our insecurities. But Libra is about taking a step back and looking at things objectively and figuring out how you can balance yourself better.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
I really do like love the Libra archetype for that reason. I feel like balance is such an important thing, especially during this
Coming
Aries
from,
time.
yes, I was just gonna say, you're coming off a huge fiery, like getting the ball rolling.
It's very
And then we
self-motivated.
enter into that, like, yep. And then we enter into that Libra full moon of like, and don't forget to play too. And don't forget to like, remember your intention behind all this. You can't be creative if you're not like living life and having fun too.
Yes.
That's a really,
yes.
What a beautiful timing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, Heather, that's beautiful.
I'm just, I really.
You have so much to look forward to.
I know. I'm out of the Pisces fog and I'm really feeling like excited
100%.
for this astrological new year. I really do feel the fire between my cheeks.
I feel the fire between my cheeks. There's never been a clearer episode title. No, yeah, it's a beautiful time. I'm down for the ride, baby. But yes, I'm going to take this antsy energy. I'm going to intentionally like focus it, manifest it into exactly where I want it to. Like that's just what the permission of like, you're just being told by the universe right now, like create. Know what you want to be doing more of in a passionate way that lights you up. Like that's so fucking fire of Aries.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful time. Gaga, Kourtney, Gaga, KK. Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. Everyone come on the pod.
Everyone come on the pod. Everyone wish Jordy a happy birthday.
Yes.
Just what a beautiful time. Listeners, keep riding. I know we're not really in the Pisces waves anymore. We're now sort of like keep your cheeks above the flames, if we may. Keep your cheeks engulfed in the flames. It's an exciting launching time. And then get ready to sort of just like go into cruise mode. It just really, what a way to ignite. It's like a plane, right? If the whole year is a plane ride, we just like had a very huge, big lift off the runway.
Totally.
And we're still sort of on the incline before we level out in the sky and sort of start coasting.
Still taking in the views, deciding which direction we want to go. And then we're full throttle.
Straight ahead.
Yep.
Full fire ahead, baby. Oh, Heather, I love it. I just love it so much. And I love you.
I love you.
I love you, Jordy.
Love you, Jordy.
Love you, Jordy. Love you, listeners. We'll see you next week, right back here.
Yes, we shall.
Happy peak Aries season. Love you.
Infinite abundance.
Bye.